So with me is Dennis Jones, guitar player extraordinaire. I never heard of you until Kelly Breaks from BlueFrog asked me to come and MC the show.
Okay.
I listened to your album, that soft, hard, and loud. Cool. Very cool. Very basic, bare bones, simple, but it's good.
Thank you.
Who is Dennis Jones?
Who is Dennis Jones?
Besides an elevator repairman.
Oh, that was another life ago. That was another life ago. Yeah. We all got to do what we got to do.
Right. Yeah.
You got to pay for those guitars you buy.
Oh, I know.
but no, I'm from originally from Baltimore County, Maryland, northern Baltimore. It's not downtown Inner Harbor, nothing like that. So it's actually a little closer to Pennsylvania. But country boy, grew up around horses and farms and fields and stuff. So moved to LA. I went to the military when I was 18, went to Europe, came back, and in the mid 80s I moved to LA. And I moved there for the music scene. It was really jumping back then. The Strip and everything was hot. Played in a few bands that almost got signed, nothing really happened. And then I decided just to go off and do my thing. And then I had a few bands before I started doing my own Dennis Jones band, just doing blues rock and
right on.
That's what I do.
You said a couple things there. You touched on guitar. So what guitar do you play, and what's your favorite guitar? Obviously, the one you play is probably your favorite.
Yeah. Well, I used to say I build it. I don't really build them. I assemble guitars. I buy parts for Tellys and Strats, and I make what I really like, because most of the things on the racks they don't work for me. So I've been doing it I've been customizing guitars since I was a teenager.
And we were talking about that. Greg Leon, a friend of mine down in LA too, he was doing that, and just everybody, like the good guitar players, seem to get that you can't use the pickups. You've got to, put different pickups in. You got to, stretch that whammy bar spring, or do this or do that.
I've tinkered with everything since I was a kid. It's just what I do.
Nice.
Nothing stays the same once I get hold of it. I have to alter to make it more something that's, I mean, if I find something that's perfect, I probably would still do something.
It's funny how we're that way, yeah. Then you touched on the military, so you were in Germany, I believe?
Yes, I was in Germany when I was a kid.
What was that like? Because you're sort of in the middle of the Cold War. You're there in 1976 or 77?
77.
And the Berlin Wall is still up, and how cool or how crazy was it?
It was cool. I had a lot of German friends, sprechen Sie little Deutsch, and I would just go off and it was like a job to me. I'd leave at 5 p.m. and come back at 5 a.m. in the morning. I had a car, some old Volkswagen. I'd go into Nuremberg and just hang out with my friends, my girlfriend at the time, and I just, I made the best of it. It wasn't great, but it was, I got to play in a little town called Hondorf on the weekends, so I had a band from the base, and we'd go there and play and make, extra money, and it was a good experience for a country boy that didn't really know much about the world, and it was just to get away, and it was great.
That's
nice.
Great
Experience.
And then you go back to the Strip. I was just down in LA recently, went to the whiskey, and the funny thing is, the whiskey hasn't changed since the 80s. I think they washed the carpets, and that's about it. But the Rainbow Ruby, went there for dinner before. Still good food.
Rainbow's the same. Rainbow's exactly the same.
What was it like? So being a minority, and I mean, things are changing now, thank God. But being a minority in a largely white area, the rock and roll thing, I don't want to make this a race thing, but I just want to talk about the struggles you might have had and how you were accepted.
It was not really not much different than it is now. I mean, back then we had something called the Black Rock Coalition. It was started by Vernon Reid and the guys from Living Color.
Yeah.
When Mick Jagger saw them and helped them get a deal back in New York.
Cult of personality.
All that. So it just exploded. LA was a huge scene for black artists that didn't play what you would call traditional black music. It was guys playing punk, guys playing, a lot of hard, heavy metal and stuff. So it was a lot of us doing different stuff. It was great. It was a really great scene. I mean, Club Lingerie with the Chili Peppers and STP. Back then, I think they were called Mighty Joe Young before they became STP, Stone Temple Pilots. But all those guys, we'd hang around everybody. Everybody, Fishbone, they were all there, and it was a amazing scene, amazing time to be in LA in the 80s. And all the metal bands were getting signed. Everybody, Rat and Motley Crue, they all got deals. So, but there's room for everybody. I didn't really feel a lot of any more racism than I do now. To tell you the truth, it's
well, that's a good and a bad thing, right?
Well, it's a lot of you. If you go in a place scared like a deer in the woods, you're gonna find you're gonna get eaten up. If you go in with confidence and just smile and say hi, what's up, people, unless they're real super, I don't know how to speak on this, but
no, that's all good. Yeah, because it's just I never know what I'm going to say or what I'm going to ask you. So just from one minute to the next. No, that's kind of good. I'm glad, and you stuck through it. You're doing what you love.
Yeah.
One more thing before we get to your band. What is your favorite memory? I mean, you probably got a million of them, but if I was to ask you right now what your favorite memory was from being a musician, playing on the road, or doing a gig, first one that pops into your head.
Favorite memory? Oh my God. Well, I'm going to say this because it's the truth. When I was younger and single, it was always the ladies. The beautiful ladies coming up front, women flashing me, women having me sign places on their body that I shouldn't have been signing. But it was a lot of fun. It was my youth of it was just really sowing my wild oats and doing what I did, and it was all that and more.
And that's why I got into radio. I got into radio for the women and the music, because I mean, God, I can't play an instrument. I've got guitars at home. I look at them, I pick it up, I play it a bit. It's like, no. Then I watch somebody like you play, and it's like, no friggin' way at all. Yeah, that's the way it is. It's just being a person in the music industry, whether you're a guy or a girl. Girls do it for a different reason, guys do it for a different reason. So, yeah.
I think a lot of people do it for the same reason. I mean, I don't have a plan B. I mean, when I was in the elevator trade, it was like I said, I was still playing and touring, and it was just, the job was getting in the way. And when they laid me off, it was the best thing that ever happened to me.
I guess business was kind of up and down.
Yeah, there you go. Come on now.
Your band, you got a three-piece.
Yes, I do.
Your drummer.
Raymond Johnson, he's been with me since 2013, and just an amazing drummer, amazing human being, and we get along, road dogs, and you got to have people that can handle being on the road, and people you get along with, and it's just it works.
Right on.
It works.
Venice Beach kid, right? He's down at Muscle Beach all the time, and the skate park down there. Well, one of my favorite places.
That's where he lives. He's in Venice Beach, but he's played with a lot of the greats out there. He's played with a lot of amazing. The list is really long of people he's played with.
Right on.
So that's
and your bass player,
Rob McDonald, from Detroit. I've known Robert probably. Him and I played in the Bus Boys with Brian O'Neill and the Bus Boys in the early 2000s, and that's how we became friends. And then he ended up introducing me to Ray, my drummer, and we did a little tour actually, Pacific Northwest, like we're doing right now, back in 2013. But Rob was so busy with other things that he really couldn't really commit to the band. So full circle, years later, 2 years ago, we hooked up, and I was looking for a bass player, and he's like, what about me? So it all worked out.
That's cool how that happens.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm so looking forward. So what can we expect tonight? You're at BlueFrog Studio, the legendary BlueFrog Studio. You're in White Rock. What can we expect tonight?
Just, I'm going to do a lot of originals. I might do one or two covers, but I want to, since we're filming the whole show, and I want to do all original material, and one song that hasn't been released yet. I'm in the studio right now recording my 8th album, so we're going to do one song that hasn't even been released. I think it's the first time I ever played it live.
Wow.
So,
I'm so looking forward. Like I said, after I listened to that album yesterday, watched a bit of YouTube video, I thought, this is cool. There's not too many artists who can say, I want to see that, but you're one of the ones that hit me there last night. So
I appreciate that. I really do. I really do. There's a lot of people out there. I don't call it competition. There's a lot of people doing what they do, and when you do original music, nobody's going to sound like you, because you're doing your own thing. Yeah. So I don't care how complicated it is, how simple it is. And I really, push that on a lot of younger people too. It's just do your own thing, and don't worry about who's playing faster or different or whatever. Just do you.
Yeah, and you said that complicated or simple, but you play, it sounds so simple, and you make it look easy, but there's a bit of complexity to what you do. Just the whole structure of your songs.
There is. I used to write songs that were much more complicated than I'm doing now, but the blues doesn't need a whole lot of,
No, it doesn't.
It just needs feel. It's all about the feel.
And that's it, yeah. And if you live the life, you can play the blues.
There you go.
Dennis Jones, BlueFrog Studio. We hit the show in just a bit. Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you.